The church today looks very different to the way it looked in 1873. The main body of the church where we were, in fact, was extended um, a number of feet further back. And so we don't know where the parlor that was mentioned as where people gave their lives to the Lord, where F.B. Mayer was looking on, learning. And we're not sure where it was, but I think this could have been as good a place as any. So it was here. It's important to remember that this was not Moody's awakening. This was Holy Spirit's awakening. As I mentioned before, God was moving in different parts of the country before Moody and Sankey arrived. But there was a great need for a fire igniter to set what God had prepared alight. And this mission and Moody and Sankey were God's agents in this. And because the people were expectant, they could feel the Holy Spirit over the nation, and they were expectant that something would happen. And so it was Moody and Sankey who were the igniters. But then there were lots of other people as well who went around the country igniting fires. Now, humanly speaking, this was probably the best prepared mission ever in this nation. As soon as Moody realized that unity was so important for the fruit of the mission, he made sure that each town and city had a committee of unified denominations to prepare for his visit. And on top of that, there were unified prayer meetings in many places around the nation. Some of them had been praying for months before Moody and Sankey arrived. And clearly that was an important factor as well. And 1859 revival, 1859 to 1864, that had prayer at its center as well. And many villages, I mean, hundreds of villages around the country had people praying, and then the presence of God would come and salvations would come. So in all my videos, I mentioned the importance of prayer, as I did earlier in this one. And I mean, one story relating to Moody to illustrate this is, you remember I was speaking about how he was had come to England and was not going to preach, and then a minister from northern London, Islington, asked him to come on Sunday to preach, and he felt that he needed to be there, and he changed his mind and went and spoke there. And then 400 gave their lives to the Lord. And in that church, there was an old lady who was bedbound, and she had read about Moody some months before, and she wanted Moody to come to her church. And so she prayed and prayed for Moody to come, and he came. And so I very much believe that it was Holy Spirit nudging Moody to change direction in answer to this lady's prayers. Another aspect of the preparation was done through the leader of the 1859-64 revival, Reginald Radcliffe. And he did a remarkable thing. He organized the maps of the cities of Manchester and Liverpool and London to be split into small areas. And he had thousands of volunteers, and these volunteers would take a little area of the map of the city and then would go to every dwelling in that area and deliver a leaflet about the meetings and speak to people about Jesus. And that reached every house, every dwelling place in these cities. I mean, my goodness, what if we did that today? I mean, mind you, cities are much bigger, but we could make a start. We could do something. I think it was absolutely brilliant. Another great advertisement for the mission was Sankey's hymns. They became so popular, they were known around the country. So people, when Moody eventually visited their town, their city, many of the people there knew Sankey's songs already. So they were able to really join in powerfully, and people, they were just so popular. And then there is the newspapers. The newspapers were generally pretty favorable towards this mission. And whether favorable or not, by writing about the mission and the meetings, they were advertising it. So they were doing a really good job. And then there was the what used to be the Revivalist newspaper, but was now called the Christian, and that went everywhere. So that was advertising the testimonies that came out of the meetings and the meetings themselves. They just covered all the meetings. So that was a great advert as well. And finally, someone wrote, because there would have been lots of other advertising as well, particularly in London, and someone wrote, "The windows of every bookseller are hung with their pictures. Penny editions of Mr. Sankey's songs are hawked about the streets. The stages and the railway stations are placarded to catch the travellers for their meetings. The papers report their services with a fullness never dreamed of before in reporting religious meetings." So prepare, and great fruit will come.